for me.
I'm not gonna add that in there. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Kevin and Mikkel. We are back with a new video. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a quiet weekend, and yesterday was October 16th, and I attended the Philly AIDS Walk. This was my 6th AIDS Walk, and you know it was a fast walk for me. It's been fast for the past 2 years. I still want them to do the longer way, but I guess it costs a lot of money to do it that way. But anyway, I was just glad to do the walk. I did the walk with my best friend Brandon. Some of my other friends did the walk, but noticeably who was absent this year was Addie and Dennis. I know they didn't do the walk, but it's okay. Y'all asses better be doing the walk next year. This year I didn't do a team. I didn't raise donations. I didn't do any of that. I did donate to them, but I just wanted to do the walk. And something that I mentioned on Facebook Live is that we have people that come from all over to come to the Scorpion Show barbecues and everything. I would love for the viewers that live in Philly. I don't want you to be flying all over the place to do the AIDS Walk. But if you live in Philly and you watch the Scorpion Show next year, I would love for y'all to come, and I would love for you to come too, and we can all do it as a team. And it was just good to see. They had like the bands out there. They had people, you know, with HIV information everywhere. I mean, just some of the stuff that, because I really never look at the board, but as I really looked at it, I just was like, wow, like the way AIDS started out to where it is now is totally different. I did not know that you couldn't fly into the United States if you were HIV positive.
Did you remember that special I had everybody watch on CNN?
Yes, I did see that. That was horrible.
No, it wasn't horrible.
That especially wasn't horrible.
But it was horrible how I'm about to say that was a good special.
They were horrible.
But you know what I think too? I think we all have to take into account. What we know now is they didn't have the information at that time. Just like I'm trying to think, there was something that came out a few. I don't know. But you know when these different diseases, like for instance, like the Zika virus, and what was the virus before the Zika virus?
Ebola.
All that. Remember when we were kind of like, what the fuck is going on with this bullshit? Like, you know, I look at it as when AIDS first came out, nobody knew exactly what the hell was going on. And that CNN special that they did a few months ago, it was really good because it showed you the different news broadcasts from the early 1980s when the AIDS first started to come about, and they didn't even have a name for it. They were just trying to figure out. They thought it was a rare form of cancer They thought it was a rare form of cancer that was only killing gay men, and they were trying to figure out where did it come from, what is going on. Like it wasn't a lot of information out there, even though of course a lot of people say that the government, whatever you believe. Yeah, I mean, well, listen, it was something definitely, but I'm saying whatever you believe, that's your own interpretation of it. But what I'm saying is, with the special chronicalized, it showed you how in the very beginning, even the gay men who were contracting HIV and AIDS, they didn't know what the hell was going on.
What was going on?
And I think a lot of people were ignorant to the disease and the spread of it because they just did not know
how it happened,
and who was, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of ignorance that was going on. But of course, 30-something years later, we look at it and we say, okay, now that we know what it is, but, I can't imagine living in 1982 and then AIDS breaking out. And you're like, what the hell?
What's going on?
Because you've never heard of it.
People were just dying like that.
It's a very good special. I forget the name, CNN, it was CNN in the 80s. Because they do different decades, and it was a part of the 80s
might have been
special.
called the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah, the AIDS
in the 80s or something like that.
But see if you can find it on demand. But I know it's CNN during the decade of the 80s, and it's like the AIDS epidemic. It's a good special. It's an hour. It's really good, and I would recommend it.
Yeah, and it's a movie that came out on HBO a couple years ago. I know I ain't gonna try to remember the name, but they documented. It was a movie. It wasn't even a documentary, but it was about people that were a part of New York City, and I think it's the GMHC, and how they were like fighting with the government to help people with HIV and AIDS and everything. It was just, they just really fought, and some of them people are still alive. I can't remember the name. If you remember the name of the movie, please put it in the comments, because that was a good film too. But I was talking to someone, And she was saying that she did like AIDS research and everything. And I was saying like I noticed like when it comes to the HIV/AIDS walk, it's not as big as like the breast cancer and Alzheimer's walk. Because she was telling me that like a lot of people don't look at it as a real bad disease anymore. So that's why a lot of people don't really do the walk. But I'm like, I feel like the AIDS coalition here, they need to be getting people to really do this walk because we all know or heard of someone who has been affected by HIV, who has passed away from either HIV complications or from AIDS. So it's just like, we need to get more people talking about it because this is a disease that's been around for 30 years and is not going nowhere, and people are still getting infected, and they know the risk of HIV, AIDS, and other STDs, but they do not take those precautions. So it's something that we really need to keep continuing to have the conversation about and end the stigma behind HIV, AIDS, and other STDs. Like it's a conversation that needs to be had. So we're gonna move on, but I just want to say shout out to everybody that did the walk. Again, I'm gonna start pushing early next year for people to do the walk, so you can take your plans and get your request in, because it's the third Sunday of October next year. It's every year. It's the third Sunday in October. So if you'd like to do the walk with me, I hope to see you next year. So on Saturday night, I had a chance to watch Surviving Compton, Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, and Mick by Michelle Toussaint, who told her story. And something that I was shocked about was that she was there the whole time during the rise of the NWA. And I did not know that. So now I'm really watching this film like, wait a minute now. We seen the Compton film, Straight Outta Compton, and how, you know, they showed their rise, and you didn't see Michelle there at all. Like, she was there on the bus with Jerry Heller. She was on tour with them. She was in the studio with them. Like, she was just doing so much with them. And it showed how she got, you know, how she got started with them. They found her in the mall singing. They brought her in the studio. A relationship started with her and Dre. And then one night, some shit went down. He came home. He was real drunk, and he beat her ass. And I just like, wow, they got to it in the first 20 minutes and start beating her ass. But they also showed her mother and her, I think it was her mother and her grandmother, telling her two different types of stories of what to do if they're in a relationship with an abusive man. And she was saying that she would never let that happen to her, but her grandmother was telling her, women going to stay anyway. It's like, kind of paraphrasing, but
her grandmother was
you're
telling
going
her
to get your ass beat,
right.
yeah, anyway. So,
because her grandmother came from that old school where shit like that happened and women stayed with the husband.
Yeah, and they was saying like this happened all the time, men beating up their women. Like, and it's something that's true. We all seen it. I don't really see it now.
No.
But you hear about, you know, some women, and now it's like, if you continue to stay in those kind of relationships, it only get worse. It don't get better.
Now, for me, I don't hear too many. Not saying that it doesn't happen, because I know it happens, but I don't hear too much of the man beating the woman. But I do hear of, like, a lot of girls out here saying, "Yeah, man, me and my boyfriend be fucking each other up." Like yeah, he hit me and I hit him the fuck back. It's like, oh, that's normal to y'all. Yeah, we fight each other, and it's almost like, yeah, he hit me, but do you honestly think I'm gonna sit there and let him hit me? I'm gonna hit him back. And it's like, they fight each other until they stop fighting, and then they go back to kissing and nothing. It's like,
that ain't no kind of relationship.
No,
to
it's
be
not.
in.
I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's fucking me up.
Either you're gonna get seriously injured or you're gonna die.
Seriously fucking injured. And I don't want to get seriously fucking injured. Okay? The only way I'm getting seriously fucking injured is if I'm getting
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm saying.
That's how you can get seriously injured.
No, well, listen.
No lube.
What? You? No! Ew!
You are not. Now you're gonna take it that route.
I wasn't taking it that route. Bitch, you took it that route. I hope you ain't let nobody slide up in you. Dry. Okay? Because as dry as your feet are, I know your hole is even dry.
Shut up! Don't you even talk like that. I'm a Scorpion. Shout out to the people watching us for the first time. Hope you click that subscribe button. So wait. But I told you, it only took me one time to hear about something like that was going on. Excuse me. Oh, this is the person. Oh, let me get. No, Kevin, don't get out the. Only got one time to hear something like that. I don't play those games. Women, if you are in that, you gotta get out. There's no excuses around. I don't care what he paying for. Get out that relationship. You don't need nobody controlling you like that because he paying all your bills. Just because he paying all your bills and you're under his roof, don't mean he can put his hands on you and beat your ass. Like, get the fuck out that relationship. And I know I'm talking to somebody, and I know I shouldn't talk just like that, but it's serious out here in these streets. It's serious. You can't do that. You can't have no man doing that, especially when you're getting beat up and he's in your house. No, he got to go. And where's your family at? You better call them. But let's go on. So, you know, she was continuously getting her ass beat throughout the years. She had a couple of hits. She actually was a platinum artist. She went gold. She had a platinum album, I believe. And during that time, she got pregnant and shit like that. And I did not know she was on tour with MC Hammer. Like, Michel'le was doing the damn thing. And then she got pregnant. And, you know, when you get pregnant, back in those days, they're not going to be promoting you like that and everything. You're going to have to take a seat back. So
she was pregnant by Dr. Dre.
She was pregnant by Dr. Dre. And I thought he was going to beat her ass, but he didn't. And while she was on tour with him, he had another woman in her bed at her home, and she still stayed. But I guess it was because he was beating her ass. And she was getting beat up to the point where she was just taking the drugs to numb her from the beatings and stuff like that. And I mean, it was just really, Dr. Dre is not looking good today. He has not been looking good since 10 p.m. on Saturday night. Because, I mean, she told the fucking story. Him yelling at her while she with the baby, him just doing whatever. And I mean, they had house party after house party after house party after house party.
Well, we saw some of that in.
Yeah, I mean, it was going down. And then we got to meet Suge Knight. And Suge Knight, basically, he was wooing her from the first time that he met her while he was with Dre. And Dre could pick up that something was going on, but he really didn't know. And he was always sweet to her. The lights was out. He came by, bought food for her, bought candles and everything. Like, he seemed like a really nice man. I was like, okay. And the same shit that was in Compton was in this film. And you know, she told a story about that, and then I did not know that Suge had another wife on the side, but she knew that. She said, I fucked Suge because I wanted to. Everything I did with him was because I wanted to. It ain't had nothing to do with anything else. It's because that's what I wanted. And when he had got locked up, he made her like the person in charge of his record label, so he was paying her $30,000 a month, and she had a certain days to see him on a Saturday. But she's like, my birthday's coming up, and I've been doing this for a year. I'm going to go see him on a Friday. Michel'le goes there on a Friday. His wife is the one that comes there on Fridays. So, you know, they about to get into it at the prison. At the prison. And so then what he tells her is that we're going to get married and everything. So he married her. Yeah, he marries Michel'le that same day. And as we seen, like they only had like 25 minutes to tell that part. So he goes to jail for all kinds of stuff. He got locked up. And then when she's in court, she finds out that she was never legally married to him because he was still married to that lady. And she was just over, and she just found the strength and got away, just like she found the strength and got away from Dr. Dre. This film was really good, but something, you know, they didn't touch on her suicide, everything. It was basically just that portion of her life where she was with Dr. Dre and Suge Knight. I wanted to see a little bit more because to me it made her come off as an angel. Like she just happened to be with the wrong man and she did drugs. But I want to know some other stuff what did she do? Like what was it that she did? Was it just her and just be getting in these bad relationships? Like I wanted to know more about the music stuff. I wanted to see more like we can't put your album out. Like I wanted to see a lot more stuff than just getting these beats. Because I mean she was getting her ass whooped in this film. And I do hope that a lot of women that watch this find the same strength that she did, because if she can make it, you can make it. And I mean, she's been through a lot of shit ever since she was a child. She's seen a lot of shit, and she is still here. You know, I appreciate the whole thing of her telling her story, but I just wanted to see more of some of the stuff that she did besides the drugs and getting beat up. I just wanted to see more of that. Like, that's what I wanted. But the film is excellent. It's good. It was really good, and you know, for a Lifetime film, they really
better than Aaliyah's.
Better, way better. Better than Whitney and Bobby. Better. It was better. I swear it was better. And then Michelet, she was throughout the film, like walking in on different scenes, talking, and she was, oh my God, she was crying when they were showing the scenes of her getting beat up. Like, but the girl that played Michelet, part of her getting the role was her being able to speak like her. So she spoke like
Did they ever
Michelet the
speak
whole
on
film.
that? On how she talks like that?
She speaks over her larynx spots. That's why her voice sounds like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if they can ever reverse it, but it's something inside that goes over a certain area, and that's why her voice sounds so high pitched like that.
Oh, that would aggravate the hell out of me.
But if you get a chance to see Surviving Compton, go see it. I know the ratings had to be high because everybody was tweeting about it. I mean, it was ridiculous. But the film was really, really good. And her grandmother later on in the film went to her, you know, I think I really told you some wrong stuff. You think you ain't tell her the wrong shit?
Okay.
Like you told her some wrong stuff. And I think her grandma was, I don't know if she's still alive, but she was like throughout, like towards the end of everything. But Michelet, that's a strong woman. She's been through a lot, and she is still here. And I know some people's like, well, why is they even doing a biopic on her life and everything like that? Go ahead and watch it. It was really good. Don't even deny it. Just watch it. It was really, really good. And I can't say no more about it. I know also that Beyonce and them did a Tidal concert, Tidal 1015 or something like that. And I seen a clip of Nicki Minaj. I just don't know. I didn't watch no performances. I just seen her talking about, and Barack needed a Michelle, a motherfucker this. And I'm like, that is not how you get your point across. I was just upset with that part. But
I didn't really, I didn't see the concert. I just
seen the blood come out.
I saw different parts, but I wasn't really, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't really. Stuff that I saw was cute. But I had a...
Oh, Beyonce parts.
Yeah, it was cute. But I had a better time at the Formation Tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Like, the different performances that I saw, they were cute.
Was Lauryn Hill one time this year?
I'm not for sure, but I'm sure she was. But, you know, it was cute, but it wasn't nothing that really, I mean, the different, the effects that she did.
The holograms.
That was awesome. Now, that was cute. That was really good. It was different. It was cute. It took me back to the Run the World from that performance at the Billboard Awards a few years ago when she, but that was really good. But other than that, I mean, I didn't really like the way she did All Night Long, like the different style, like a reggae version. I didn't like the way she broke it. And then I don't know, because every video I've seen, I don't know if it's the video, I don't know, but it seems like it's like pausing in different spots. Like, I don't know if it was I don't know, but it just, I don't know.
It didn't take this fancy.
It didn't take much. No. Yeah. So and I love my mother.
Yes, we know that.
But
shout out to Miss Renee, because she always coming in our video talking about, y'all always talking about Beyonce, but you know she's going to be talked about anyway, whether you see in the title or not.
Right.
And it's your choice whether you want to keep watching. But shout out to you, Miss Renee. I see you all the time talking your little shit on the side.
Well, hopefully I made Miss Renee happy, because I didn't care for that. I had a much better time at the Formation Tour. I just say that. Okay? Tidal, and you know what's so funny too? Because this particular Tidal concert was not even bigly talked about like last year's was.
Yeah, it wasn't really promoted that way.
No, like last year's was all over the place. Like but this year it was like, the only thing you really heard was about Beyonce's ear ripping, and then you never, like, I didn't see any of Jay's performances. Did he perform? I don't know. I don't know. Did he? All I know is that Beyonce, Nicki, and Lauryn Hill performed.
Oh, she did perform?
Yeah, she did perform, but that's all I know and saw.
Mm-hmm. I want Lauryn Hill to come out with an album. She's been playing for 20 years.
Listen.
It's going on 25 years.
I mean, I would like for her to come out with an album, but...
Look, whether she got her mind right or not.
I don't want her to do what Houston did the other last time.
Baby, don't do that.
She did talk sing that whole album, Kevin. When she got there on Dear... I'm gonna just a little bit close. You was like, oh, that is not...
She had to do with the best of her equipment.
Listen, listen.
You're not going to do that.
I didn't do it.
So,
I stayed quiet.
Election day is 22 days away.
And I'm feeling
Listen,
good.
let me tell y'all something, okay?
Donald
This shit is rigged, okay? It is rigged.
It's rigged when it's not going his way. That's when it's rigged. It's rigged because it's not going his way.
And I want y'all to go to the polling polls, and I want y'all to watch
See,
them
this is the
and
thing.
see what they're doing.
When he was winning the Republican primaries earlier this year,
rigged.
it wasn't rigged. Everything was going. But now that we're in the general election, everything is rigged now. Because you know why? Donald Trump at his rallies that he has with his supporters, all he talks about is Hillary Clinton's emails, how he can't stand the Republican Party, the women that have now come out against him. That's it. He doesn't talk about any policies that he's going to implement. Nothing. Excuse me. I said it before and I'm saying it again. Donald Trump does not really want to be president. He's just seeing how far he can get. And I know some people may not believe or understand that, but when you have a narcissist like Donald Trump, who is just so full of himself, yes, I can believe that. He wants to see how far he can go, just so he can say, oh, well, you know, I'll always be down in history as the Republican nominee for president in 2016. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, I blame the Republican Party for not taking this man serious back in 2015 when he decided to run. They took him as a joke, and he blew all the Republican nominees this year out of the water. All of them. Donald Trump. People, this is also, and I thought about this today on my way to work. I was talking to myself in the car, and I said, wow, this is crazy. This really is the first presidential election that I know of, or that I witnessed in my lifetime, where both candidates are disliked. Nobody likes either one of the candidates. But people are like, we don't like either one of them. But if I had to choose one, I'm going with her. Why? Because she has more experience when it comes to policy making and politics. She has more foreign experience. She has more experience. He just has experience with running his fucking mouth
and grabbing women by the pussy.
And grabbing women by the vagina.
Pussy.
You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense.
Have
like,
you ever been grabbed down here?
Me? Have I ever been grabbed down here?
And you ain't want to happen?
No, it never. No, actually, I'm not. It has happened. I'm not going to.
Let's keep it.
Yeah, because I don't want nobody to say they saw this and was like, oh, you was talking about me? Yeah, I was. Let me tell you something. Can I just say something? I am a freak. I am freaky. But there are times when I don't want to be freaky. And when I get around not certain people, but a certain person, they like to, and it kind of comes off as too aggressive. And then this freaky Mikkel becomes like a little boy, and I'm like, no, I don't approve. Like I just get like, why you want? No, I don't. Why can't we just talk? Don't touch me. Let's talk. And they always want to grab that when I'm not awake. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's like, no, don't do that, because I'm not into you like that. You don't do that for me anymore. That's a long time ago. That's over 10 years ago. You don't do that for me anymore. So therefore, now it's like you come off real aggressive, and I don't like that. And I am a freak, and I love to be hands-on. I like doing stuff when the lights are on. I don't like all that dark shit. But when you come around, I'm like, I need a third person, because
they just want to fondle.
They just want to fondle, and I don't want nobody fondling me that I don't want to fondle back.
You fondle by.
Yeah.
Well, how did he get in the bed with you after 10 years?
Bitch, not the bed. Hell no, not the fucking bed. Are you kidding me? Why would I even let him know? Like,
Who?
no.
So,
And then, no. I don't even want to do that. Why would I want to do that? Like, why would I want to do that? I don't want to do that. Oh, you never did that before? Yes, I did, but not with you. And I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. And I know it probably hurt their feelings but it's the truth. I'm not into you like that. I'm not.
So you like this election shit is crazy. I need all of y'all to make sure that you guys are registered and make sure your registration is updated. In certain states, we are way past the deadline point, but please check in your state to see when is the last day to register to vote if you have not registered to vote yet. It's very important. This is a very important election. We say that every 4 years, but this is a very important election. because I refuse to let a man named Donald Jackass Trump in the White House.
And let me tell you something. I was watching, because y'all know I'm a big history buff. Last night I was watching the American Experience on PBS, and quite often they have different presidential programs, and they did a 3-hour special of Richard Nixon last night, and like I just always watch the stuff like I've never seen it before. But anyway, I watched this particular special on Richard Nixon, and when it got to him entering the White House as president, because Richard Nixon was really counted out in the early 1960s. He had ran for president in 1960 and lost to JFK. He had ran for the governor of California in 1962, 2 years later, and lost that because even though he was a resident of California while he was vice president, people in California was like, nigga, you've been vice president for 8 years. We haven't even seen you like that. We don't know you and you don't try to come here and run for governor. No. And so then throughout the 60s, he kind of was like forgotten about. And he will go on different TV shows, and this one particular TV show called The Jack Parr Show, I know I'm really old and some of y'all don't. But anyway, he was on there, and Jack Parr said to him, you know, my daughter asked me to say one thing to you because she knew you were coming on, and she said that she really hopes that you can find a job because people just were not electing him for anything. They want nothing to do with Richard Nixon anymore. And then came 1968 when he ran, you know, and of course Bobby Kennedy was running that year, and Bobby Kennedy
he got killed that year.
But a lot of people felt like had he not died, he would have been the next president, and Richard Nixon would have lost to 2 Kennedys. But I think a lot of people felt like that was Richard Nixon's way into the White House because Kennedy was killed, and the candidate that year that he was running against, I think it was Hubert Humphreys, I think it was, who he was running against that year, was just like, yeah.
That's just crazy how you just like they was shooting people back in the day.
Yeah, they were. They're just killing people.
They had snipers everywhere.
Yeah, they were just killing people, and he got killed like a few months after Martin Luther King had got killed. So yeah. So anyway, but I say this to say because when I was watching it, if you watch the special, Richard Nixon really had, when he was in the White House, he had a stronghold on the media, something that you would never see today in today's the way it is now. But back then, he picked and choose what news organizations he wanted, and like if he didn't like NBC, no reporter for NBC could be a part of the press conference. He just banned them from different. That's how Richard Nixon was. He ran the shots because he always felt like in the 50s when he was vice president that the media had always mocked him and treated him wrong. So this was his way now that he was in charge to get back. And as I was watching this special, I said, wow, if this is not Donald Trump 2016, because Donald Trump a few months ago had barred different
times and stuff like that.
And I said if Donald Trump was to become president, this would be Nixon all over again. He would ban whoever didn't agree with him, he would ban them. And I said, wow, I can't even imagine going back to that time. But there was a time when presidents had that much power where they were able to do that. Like now, I can't imagine a president banning a news organization simply because that news organization doesn't, you know.
Yeah, and especially if you want to get reelected.
Right, like you don't do stuff like that. But Donald Trump has a way of doing it, and Richard Nixon did it. And not only that, Richard Nixon, when he ran for re-election in '72, he won by a landslide. Like he won. Like people loved him, and he won whites, he won blacks. I mean, people loved Nixon, but you know,
then that
Watergate scandal came about,
and that's when the GOP broke into the DNC files and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
kind of like what's going on right now. And nobody is getting in trouble for it.
But it was funny because it's always funny. It's always funny when you watch these old news broadcasts because it happened June 7, 1972. And 5 men had broken into the headquarters of the Democratic Committee at the Watergate Hotel. And they broke in there, and when they were caught, nobody knew who the fuck they were. Nobody knew who they were. Nobody knew who they worked for. They just didn't know. So when it was mentioned on the nightly news that evening, it was almost as if, oh, this happened, and then on to the next story, because nobody knew who they were working for. And for months, people didn't know, and then all of a sudden, people started realizing, wait, he used to work for so-and-so who works for so-and-so who works for President Nixon. And that's how it started coming about. And then I found out last night watching the special, I know I'm going on, but I love history. There was a plane crash in 1973, and this woman was on the plane and she was killed. Now, her pocketbook was found and in the wreckage, and in her pocketbook they found $10,000. Now, come to find out, this is what kind of broke the straw that broke the camel's back. They found out that this money that she had was for her husband, who was one of the burglars that broke into the Watergate. And this was basically hush money that the White House was paying these people not to say that they were hired by the White House. But I just like history, and I love learning, stuff like this. It was really good, and I was just like, oh,
look at God.
Yeah. But it took a plane crash for this woman to die. And you're right, look at God, because her pocketbook could have been burned up. And here she is carrying $10,000, and they traced this money back. Like, well, where did this money come from? They traced it, and it was coming from some type of account that the money was being transferred to from the White House to keep these people quiet. And then I'm almost done. And then this is another thing too. So Richard Nixon, he was such a control freak, but he was also very, very paranoid. Now, I'm sure a lot of you heard about the secret wirings that he would recordings. He set those recordings in the Oval Office and things like that to basically get the people who work for him, so that in the future, if they ever turned against him, he would have these recordings to say, no, you... But in the end, those recordings turned out to be his downfall, because it picked up a lot of shit. Because he would forget that it was on. There you go. And we talking all... Oh, you had to hear something recorded. We call niggas and spits and all that. I mean, Richard Nixon was a big get. Okay? Then he'd get around certain black celebrities and love him, but he was a bigot, and he talked his shit, because like you said, he would forget that these recordings were in his own wall. But I'm off of that. But it's really good.
We got to watch that. Speaking of documentaries, I watched a documentary called 13.
Oh God, I plan on watching it tonight.
People have been hitting me up to watch it. You gotta watch it. Come on,
I plan on watching it tonight.
I watched the first hour and 20 minutes.
How long is it?
It's about hour 40 minutes. So I didn't see the last 20 minutes, but basically it was just showing you how the government and how things have been set up against us for a long time. So because they couldn't get us in slavery, they found a new way to get us through slavery, and that was through prison. And that's how they can destroy the black race and just do so much. And they had all different kind of people commentating. My boy Van Jones was on there. I love Van Jones, and he was just...
You can't reproduce when the men are in jail.
Yeah, you sure can. You could break up a lot of families. Yep. And that's what happened. You notice a lot of families, they were families back in the day.
And then they blame us for our families breaking them.
It was them. And black people go to jail just for minus the stuff that we talked about. We would go to jail for big time, and white people get charged with the same crime. They don't
probation or something.
Like anything, slapping the wrist. But no, they take us away for a long time. And they talked about this 13th Amendment, where I believe it's... Look, don't even get me to start lying. But it says something like the slavery was over, but they can get you through the prison, and you had to go to jail.
And it's obvious in 2016.
And and they then, like, through every decade they talked about, it showed how high the prison rate went up. And it's like, we're like at 2.3.
Is it a good,
it's great. It's great. Ava DuVernay.
Right, of course. Right. Of course. I mean, she's awesome.
Yes. And I mean, them people were talking. Yeah, she had people from all different walks of life just explaining everything. Like, it's good. And then, Jay-Z did a story like 3 weeks ago talking about Nixon and the war on drugs, and then how it went to Reagan and the war on drugs, and how...
But the war on... Go ahead, I'll let you finish.
How you know how it was all...
Yeah, but the war on drugs, and that started in during the Nixon administration in the early 1970s. The war on drugs was really... It was supposed to be this big time thing to crack down on drugs and
but
it was really to get black people to get them
and
in jail.
They were racist. Like they was like, we gotta learn how to talk in code. Kind of like how Donald Trump don't know how to talk in code. But they were saying like that was just a big part of how they got black people. How you make it think that you really for them when you're against them. And I mean, it put a lot of people in jail. And Jay-Z did like a story, it was like it was him rapping about what was going on, and somebody was drawing it while he was speaking about it. And I'm surprised that it didn't catch on. Like people are not even talking about this, but
Jay-Z did.
Yeah, but Jay-Z is doing a story on Khalif Browder. He's also in this 13th documentary where he was picked up on the street. They said he did something. They put him in a prison. And after 3 years, they let him out. But he wasn't free. He wasn't himself because if he wasn't getting beat up by the guards, he was getting beat up by people that was in prison. And he was like, he's not going to plead guilty to charges that he know he didn't do. But that was their way of keeping people from having things because, you know, with these felonies, like if they plead guilty to it, this will be on their record. And if they don't, and they go to trial and they lose, they're going to go to jail for maybe 30 or more years. So it was like a lot of people took the plea deal because they had families to provide for and take care of. Like, it's good. And this is not the first time I heard about this. There's this movie with Alfre Woodard and Nicole Pahari and how this girl, she took on the Texas system. I can't remember the name. Always one of my favorite movies. And I could just watch it at any time. And it was just showing how they would lock up people from the projects and make them take plea deals, like accuse them of having drugs, and they didn't. But because these women had families and shit, they just took the plea deals and had got felonies. And you know, it's a lot of things you can't get with felonies. You can't buy homes, you can't vote, you can't. It's just a lot of things. Sometimes you can't even get a job, a good paying job, because you got this on your record. So she was just she hired these people and they got her off, and it was recording and just showing how they were setting up a lot of people by putting false charges on people, and actually they were paying people to lie on these people instead of they seen them with drugs and they really didn't have it. I can't remember the name of the movie. Always Out, is it Always Outnumbered or Out? I'm gonna find it. But yeah, it's a lot of good films out there that just show that things has never been set up for us to win anyway. No matter how hard they try to make it look like, you know, they're for us, they've always been against us.
And this is, and can I just say this? This is one of the reasons why it is important to vote. Now, what we just talked about, I'm sure there's somebody at home and they're saying, well, wait a minute. That's even more reason why I shouldn't go out and vote, because the system is not even set up for me after what I just heard the two of y'all mention. But that's where you're wrong. Because that's
American Violet is the name of the movie. It's good.
But see, that's where you're wrong. Because in fact, if we go out and vote, we can change the system. And I'm gonna tell you how we can change it, and I'm gonna tell you how we already changed it. Look what we did 8 years ago. We elected the very first black man to be president of the United States. That was a change right there when we were able to go out there and exercise our right to vote. And then what did we do? We turned around and then re-elected him and put him back in the White House. And they were mad that we did that. But we did it. That's even more reason why we should go out there and vote. That's why it's so important to not only vote, but to know who you're voting for. Because you have the power to put the people in office that you want to see in office, because you know that they're going to do something to have a better impact on your life or your children's lives or your children's children's lives. This is the reason why we go out and vote. So we can make an impact. We can make a difference. Yes, it took us, over 200 years, but we did it. We got our very first black president. And you never know. If Clinton wins next month, and for the next 4 years, you know, we're like, we really don't want her, then you know what we have the right to do? In 2020, when the next election comes up, there will be I'm sure there will be another Democratic person out there that says, you know what, I've seen these past 4 years, and the people, they voted her in, but they still are not really satisfied with her. And whoever comes up that is qualified and that is smart and has good ideas and good plans, vote them in there. I don't think it's ever really happened where someone has come up and challenged an incumbent president and then knocked that incumbent president out. But it could happen. It could very well happen if everyone goes out and exercises their right to vote. I was so happy when I registered to vote. I know y'all get tired of me telling the story, but I was so happy when I registered to vote. My very first presidential election was in 2008, and I was a part of putting the very first black president. And I mean, I can say that. That is history to me. 20, 30, 40 years from now, I can say the very first time I voted in a presidential election, I voted for a man for change, and I was able to witness that change happen. I can say that. I can say that. I can say that I helped President Obama get into the White House, not once, but twice. And hopefully on November 8th, I can say that I helped the first female get into the White House. You know, because I feel as though I would rather have the first female than the first clown. And we've had plenty of clowns. But I mean, well, I'm talking about a real life clown. With the red nose and the big red shoes.
Him on them hot mics all the time.
I mean, he's such a clown that he got on Twitter and just started blasting SNL for their portrayal of him. Like, Donald Trump, they come at you, they come at Hillary, they come on everybody. You are not exempt, Donald Trump. I didn't hear Hillary Clinton going on Twitter and blasting SNL because this is what SNL has been blasting every presidential candidate since the 70s when SNL, I mean, I think no presidential candidate or no president got it worse than Gerald Ford in the 70s when SNL first started. I mean, this man was a clumsy president. I mean, he was falling down the steps, he was tripping over himself. And I mean, when Chevy Chase used to portray him, I mean, it was, and Barbara Walters too. She hated when Gilda Radner because Gilda,
I heard about that.
Gilda Radner would mock her list, and
like
you know the way she talked, and she really didn't like it. And I remember that one interview that Barbara Walters did that she said she walked in on her daughter watching it, and her daughter was laughing, and she didn't like that. But her daughter was a little girl at the time, and she liked it. She was like, she hurt her feelings to see her daughter laughing, but it was comedy. You know, that's what they do. And Donald Trump, for you to be that offended that you go on Twitter and say, "Oh, this show is," I mean, I do agree with you because I don't watch SNL, but I mean, other people
It's been funny lately.
That's why it's still on because other people watch it after 40 years. But for you to go in there and say, "Oh, this show needs to finally retire," Alec Baldwin isn't funny. This, that,
That's
and
the
third.
fuck he is.
I think he's when I see him, I think he's very funny portraying Donald Trump because he portrays a clown.
And he does it right.
And he does it right, a clown.
Just like how Trump be like, "Nope, it wasn't me. I didn't do it." Like he is on point with it, and then you know how not trashy, but how messy CNN is. They go back and find his tweet from a year ago when he was on it like, "I love SNL. This is the greatest thing." Blah 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 blah. Like, don't change shit up now because they're coming at your neck. And basically, SNL is just saying that Donald Trump, you done handed this election over to Hillary Clinton, and basically you have because the way you're acting, you are 70 years old. There's no way you're going to ever change.
Right.
I'm 30 and I'm set in a lot of ways.
Yes, he's set his ways. Donald Trump, you're set in your ways the way your hair is set on your head. You are set in your ways. Okay?
Oh
I can't imagine no other hairstyle on you, Donald Trump, because your hair is set in its way. It is. I can't imagine it. I don't even know how he get his hair like that after he get out the shower. How do you get your hair back to that? I have a hard time getting mine back to that. You got to make one appointment, then you got to make another appointment, and wait till the products get there. You ain't got no place for your hair care and things, you know.
And Azealia Banks got thrown out of Russell Crowe's hotel room. Now you might be saying to yourself, what the fuck
was she in Russell Crowe's hotel room?
Academy Award winner Russell Crowe.
Why was Azealia fucking Banks in her hotel room? That's like saying why was Little Mama in Beyonce's hotel room? Why was she in there? Beyonce, why was you entertaining her?
On the song.
Okay. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's like saying why was Ashanti's mom in Tina Knowles' hotel room?
Because they're good friends.
They don't have nothing in common.
I've never seen them together.
Because they don't have nothing in common.
Somebody gonna find a picture, watch. I bet you. Somebody's gonna find a picture and tag me on Instagram or DM it to me. Watch. Woo! The two teamers. But wait, so what happened was Azealia Banks and RZA, they're doing a movie together. And I think Russell Crowe had something to do with the film as well. So they in his hotel, they are in Russell Crowe's hotel room, and she started telling him, Russell Crowe, you don't know nothing about music. What you know about this? What you know about that? And then she's like, you just a boring old white man.
Oh!
And
was this recorded or is it?
I don't know if it was recorded or not, but this is an excerpt that I read. So she was talking like that to him, and she was like, I will take a bottle and I will crack it in half and stab you in the neck.
Yeah, that's how.
Once she started talking like that, he said, I picked her ass up and I threw her out.
That's right.
He threw her out.
He threw her out.
Like the cat on fucking Flintstones, threw her out.
Yep.
So now she's saying that, no, he was calling me a nigga, calling me.
No, he wasn't.
I can imagine. You know how your family member get in trouble and the teacher tell you about this family member, you know, because that's how you always act.
Because we know that's how she acts. I can see we didn't know, but we know that's how Azealia Banks acts. She shows her ass all the time. All the time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about her showing her ass. If there's one person that's going to show their ass, it's her.
Yes. So she said, I'm going to sue him because he didn't apologize. She's
not going to win.
No, she's not. Because, like,
after he called you a nigga, why would you want him to apologize? Because that's how he feels if he called you a nigger. If you call me a nigger, you don't ever have to apologize to me because that's how you feel. What are you apologizing for?
For what you said.
For what you said or how I feel?
I don't believe her part at all. Once she started talking that violent shit, he picked her ass up and threw her out.
And do you blame him?
No, I don't.
No.
You got to go.
And you know what I would say? After I see him throw her out, I would see her hit the wall of the next wall in the hallway, and I would look at him and say, why the fuck was she in there any damn way? You should have had a meeting with her in the lobby. Like we almost did at the Fristy College. You should have had a meeting with her in the lobby.
No, we're going to find this on.
She'd have never known what hotel room I was in. Okay? The way they robbed Kim Kardashian, she'd have came back to that hotel in a minute. No, listen. That's what she said.
Exactly what she said.
That's exactly what she said, but who am I to judge?
Yes. Who are we? Especially after I seen that video. I seen some video with them in her hotel room. Who is this? Trying to FaceTime me. And I am recording.
Okay, so CNN just posted, the man convicted of shooting at George Zimmerman in a road rage incident has been sentenced to 20 years in prison, Florida 30 said Monday. Matthew Apperson was convicted of attempted second-degree murder in September. In addition to the 20-year sentence, he was also given a 15-year concurrent sentence for aggravated assault stemming from the same incident. Seminole County State Attorney spokeswoman Lynn Bumpus Hooper said, "What kind of bullshit is this? This is the same George Zimmerman who killed Trayvon Martin, but yet somebody who shot at him got 20 years in prison."
I'd be like, we shouldn't wish death upon nobody. I'm going to be honest. We shouldn't wish death upon nobody. Nobody should be shooting at each other now unless you are for sure that this man shot at you. He tried to use the stand your ground and it didn't work. I don't know what the case was. I remember hearing about it a couple years ago, but I don't know what happened. I don't know all the facts. But I do find it weird that just because you shot at somebody, they go to jail for 20 years and they didn't even get shot. Okay. I think that's excessive. And I don't know what's going down in Florida. That's why I would never live there. Y'all just come up with some crazy rules. And I still can't believe that George Zimmerman got off for killing Trayvon Martin. I will never, ever forgive those people. And I mean, I can forgive them. I just will not look at y'all right like y'all don't have no sense. Remember the girl with the Jordan Davis case with the crazy fucking hair?
The same people who support George Zimmerman are the same people who vote for
Donald Trump. The basket of deplorables that Hillary Clinton refuses to double down on. You said it, you meant it. Don't even apologize. No,
you said it. Come on, Kevin. You said it, you meant it.
Yeah. So don't even talk about when they say Hillary Clinton says Americans are the plural. Say, I didn't say all, I said some of your supporters. And I'm talking about the ones that saying racist shit on Twitter, that tweet me and say
those are the deplorables that I'm talking about.
The ones that comes from Comedy Central, those are the basket of deplorables that I'm talking about. And I don't need their vote because I never had their vote in the first place. Come on, Hillary. What's so hard? You're so scared to go there sometimes. Donald Trump goes there and make a fool out of himself, but you can go there because President Obama goes there. You know who goes there? Michelle Obama went there on Thursday.
You know who goes there too? Nick.
All the time. Sometimes too fucking far.
Too fucking far. But let me tell you something.
Is that cat all right? I'm surprised you didn't say nothing about the cat today.
Okay. Because Kevin Cat got hit in front of my face today before I walked up the steps. I mean, ran over, okay? But she shouldn't have been under that fucking car.
No.
Under the car, she shouldn't have been out the house. But that's a different thing.
Our cats are outdoor and indoor animals. Believe it or not. Come on, man, we go in and out too. So if they see us go outside, they want to see what's so fascinating about outside.
My dog knows not to come outside until I tell her ass come out that door. Fuck you think you are?
You can train the dog. You can't train.
You can train a cat too.
Not to go out. Well, I mean, you can.
Yes, you can.
But
my uncle and the cat is very well trained. He pulls his paw up to shake your hand and everything.
I know. I feel so bad for the cat. I tried. I hope my nephew called the SPCA. Like, I'm getting.
I hope he did too.
And not extinguish her, but you know.
Well, when we finish this video, we'll see if she did.
Euthanize.
She's on her way out the door.
She is on her way.
She got hit bad.
Yes. Her legs are broken. And she was trying to breathe, child. I don't know.
I think
anyway, I don't even want to end the video on that kind of a note. But Amber, that was Amber that FaceTimed me until we recorded. What I was about to say, something else. The final presidential debate is this Wednesday, October 19th. It comes on 9 p.m. on all the networks. Make sure you watch it. It's going to be good. And I want Hillary, this is the last time to show that he's a dickhead.
Right.
Now, he's already done hung himself. But you need to come out swinging. Don't even let him get away with the stuff. You know he's going to bring up the emails. You know he's going to bring up Benghazi. But you got to hit that. You got to hit him. And you got to hit him real hard. Okay? Because I want when I come out, when I finish watching this debate, when I watch all the talking heads, I want them to say that you won this. I don't want to hear, oh, Donald Trump.
I want you to not be 11 points ahead of him like you are now. I want you to be 20 points ahead of him.
And if he brings up your husband, go there.
He can't go there.
And then
he's not saying anything we don't already know.
But what I'm trying to understand is, I really want to do a video of how I see these Donald Trump supporters that come on TV. Because it could be like clear as day, like the man choking out Eric Garner in New York, and they will still defend this shit. Oh, I can't breathe. No, he could breathe. He just had it like a little chokehold on him. But there's no way that he really couldn't breathe. And how do we know for sure that the choke that killed him? Right. Maybe it was because he was overweight. Maybe that's why he died. Well, maybe he should have just complied in the first place, and this wouldn't happen. Maybe this and maybe. I mean, they come up with any kind of thing to defend. They would be horrible lawyers because they don't. I mean, they try to be good lawyers, but they're not. Right. They're not. There's no way you could defend women coming out against Donald Trump saying that he molested them and fondled them and grabbed them and all kind of areas. How can you defend that?
They want to talk about Bill Clinton.
Yeah. If you want to bring, what you call it a spade. Let's call it a thing. I'm a fucking thing. Okay? Come on, Ian. Call everything a thing.
And Bill Clinton's all unbothered by it now because it happened 20-something years ago.
And what wife you know is going to support her fucking mistress? Her husband's mistress. And speak good things about them. Oh, she should be heard. That bitch better get out my fucking face. She knew he was married. And you think I'm not supposed to have sympathy for her? Hillary. The fuck out of here. I want you to say these things. Like what? I'm talking to all the married women in America. When have you ever supported your husband's mistress? Right. How am I supposed to treat her? And how is Melania treating these women? You know Melania is going off about this shit.
And speaking of Melania, she's going to be on
Anderson. And Scuba at 8 o'clock tonight.
And I'm going to be watching. If you keep talking, I won't see it.
Shut up. So the debate is it's Wednesday. If this video come up on Tuesday, the day's debate's tomorrow. Otherwise, it's up Wednesday. Make sure y'all watch it, because I can't wait for Thursday, because we're going to talk about it. Yes. I can't wait. So y'all be good. Y'all have a good week. Y'all be safe. And we'll see y'all on Thursday or Friday morning. Peace. Yes, Lord. Tell her some shit.